Hello students, I am Professor Namrata Hampiholi from Department of Commerce and Accountancy, KLS GCC Belgavi. Welcome you all for Modern Management Technique class. After studying about the manager, who is manager and types of the manager, in today's class let us look into the responsibilities of the manager that is to be carried in an organization. So being a manager, he has certain responsibility in an organization. So along with that organization, that doesn't depend on any single factor, or it is not only the responsibility towards any one single factor. It is the responsibility towards the stakeholders. So who are these stakeholders? Stakeholders are the people who are related to the organization, who are inside the organization and who are the outside organization. These are the one who show the interest in the organization. And why do they show the interest in the organization? Is because they are related to the business organization in one or the other form. So they are dependent on the organization, and the organization is dependent on them directly or by indirect means. So these stakeholder constitute of government, supplier, competitors, shareholders, owners, employees, buyer, tax authorities, and legal. So being a manager, he has a responsibility towards all these stakeholders. So let us see what are his responsibilities in each of these stakeholders. So the first, responsibility towards the government. So responsibility towards the government is to ensure that whatever the framework or the regulations given by the government to run an organization is properly implemented or no. So as we all know that we have various acts or rules which are being formed for running a company or an organization. We have Joint Stock Companies Act, we have Partnership Act. Okay, so we have n number of acts which are related when we are doing the business. So being a manager, he should ensure that these rules are properly applied in the organization. That is, we are going according to the government rules, or we are going to the rules which have been given, or we have agreed to all the conditions which the government has given, and we are following the framework which is given by them, and we are not doing anything unethically or unfair practices, or we are not beyond the rules of the government. Then next, coming towards the responsibility of the suppliers. So who are the suppliers here? The suppliers are the one who provide the raw materials or semi-finished goods. So these are the sources of material. From them we receive the sources of material. So the responsibility of the manager here is to make a payment for them in a time, and ensure that he maintains a good relation with them, so that in the further or in upcoming future we do not lose any good contractor or a good supplier. The person who is supplying the quality goods, we must make sure that we build a good relation with them by making the payment in time and ensuring them about the good relation with them. Then next, after supplier, we have here is towards the buyer. So who are the buyers here? Buyers are here customers. So as a customer is a king of a market, being a manager, he should ensure that customer is satisfied. So how the customer is satisfied here? Customer satisfaction has a various parameters, such as quality, what is expected by the customer is to be provided here, and at a reasonable rate. Standard products are to be given, and main important thing is here the consumer interest is to be protected here. Here, the consumer safety is very important. So keeping all these factors into the mind, that is consumer safety, standard product and quality product at a reasonable price and at the expected quantity, these all things should be given to the customers. This is ensured by the manager. The manager must see that these all bundles will be given, or it should be delivered to the customers properly. And the customers are attracted usually by the advertisement. So here, when you are advertising your company, must see that there shouldn't be any false advertisement, or any advertisement shouldn't mislead or give any wrong message about your company. It shouldn't, the advertisement what you are giving should not have a bad impact on the customers. So these are the responsibilities towards the buyer. Then coming to the responsibility towards the owners. So here, the responsibility of a manager is to ensure that a fair and reasonable rate of return is given on the capital. So here owners, we can call them as the shareholders. So shareholders, they invest their money in our company. So it is a responsibility of the manager to make sure that they get a good return for what capital they have contributed. So return should be given in time. So the return what we call here as a dividend for the shareholders, so that should be given in a proper time, and the reasonable rate of return is given to the shareholders. Then next responsibility is towards the employees. So employees, being an asset of an organization, their interest is to be protected. So the potential employees are to be sustained in an organization. So it is a duty of a manager to look after that the potential employees of an organization should remain in the organization, so that they give the benefit, or they work hard and they put their effort for the growth of the organization. Then how to sustain or how to make them to remain in an organization is by giving the good working environment, then by giving them a fair wages or a salary, a satisfactory working environment. Then there are various acts which are related to the labor, so that acts are to be implemented in organization. Should give them a good medical facility, housing facility, canteen facility, leave benefits, some retirement benefits. So by these all, employee will not think to shift his job if he is satisfied by the working environment. So the manager should ensure that these interests of the employees are to be protected. Then coming to the responsibility towards the competitors. So your competition is necessary. Why? Because to see your position, where exactly you all stand, to know that you must have a competitor. So there is nothing wrong to think that we should be at the first position when we compare ourselves to our competitor, that is the one who are giving or who are in a similar line of production as we are. But when we think of being at the first position, we must see that first position what we have got here, that is ethical, and we have been fair enough to get that position. So when we are into the competition, there must be a healthy competition. So in our competition, we shouldn't harm the other company or our competitors. So here there shouldn't be any mislead or unfair or unethical practices which are being engaged in getting that position or coming to that position. So when we are into the competition, when we want that our product should be best or our services what we are giving should be best, we must see that we reach that objective by fair and ethical manner. So we shouldn't criticize our competitors, or we shouldn't falsely advertise their products, right? So when we are advertising our product, we must highlight what is best in our product or services, rather than telling or criticizing what is worst in them, see, they are not, that company is not giving this services, that company is not giving that services or that products, but we are giving. Instead of comparison, we must highlight what is best from our part. So when you are into the competition, we must ensure that we are into the healthy competition by not criticizing any of the competitors here. Then next, coming to the responsibility of the environment. Yes, so now we are aware that, or we are like we are getting to know that why protection of environment is necessary nowadays, right? So here, to protect our environment or to save the environment, here the manager who is a part of the business must make sure that he takes some remedies or some measures to protect the environment. His role here is to take some like activities such as planting the trees or making some making some gardens, or they like taking some campaigns to create awareness among the people for saving the environment, and stating them advantages and disadvantages of environment, then minimizing the pollutions which are caused by these factory letouts. Okay, so these are the various ways wherein the as a manager he can take an initiative or the lead to save the environment. So here the various steps taken here is to minimize the pollution in any way that may be, right? Noise pollution or water pollution, air pollution. They have a way, they can take a various measure with the help of the government or with the help with their support. They can try to minimize, conduct the various campaign which gets the awareness about the saving these environment. Through these measures, there is a possibility that at least they contribute towards the saving of the environment or protecting of the environment. Next, coming to the responsibility towards the taxation authority. So taxation authority here, the responsibility of the manager here is to pay the taxes in time, that is properly. Tax should be paid in the specified time. There shouldn't be any fraud involved in the paying of the tax, that is by showing the less income and paying the less tax. They shouldn't involve in such type of the activities. Whatever true statements are there, that is to be disclosed, and whatever the tax amount is, whatever the tax amount they have to pay that in the proper time, so that the government will get a revenue and even the company is contributing towards the government here. So these are the responsibilities of the manager. So being a manager at a certain position, he should have the responsibility towards all these stakeholders.